This is Power Podcast Live. Hello, everyone. This is Tony Renfro, along with my co-host, my supporting co-host, Francis Larkin. Hello, Francis.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I haven't talked to you since Sunday. How you been?
Oh no, it's been real good. Just,
Yeah,
enjoying this beautiful day today. And how
yes,
about you?
yes. I'm great. I can't complain. Can't
Same.
complain. Can't complain at all. And what is she gonna pop in or not? What's she gonna do?
There
Okay.
she
Hey,
is.
all right.
My thing, I told you my phone. Kaylee, move. My thing is, my
Hey,
I
Kim.
told you my phone was gonna die. I needed to get some power before I could get it
Okay.
going. It
All
cut off.
right. Great. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got a special guest, and I got to tell you about my special guest. But we're gonna go through our PSAs first, and then we'll tell the story. We can go from there. And we welcome everybody that's joining us tonight. Hello, everyone. If you want, give me a comment, shoot me a comment, shoot us a comment. We want to hear from you. We like to hear from our audience. Just to say, hey, we love you, we care for you. We want to bring you in very important information on this show. We're gonna break this show down a little bit because this is going to be a little bit different than what we have been doing since on the month of March. We are going to be talking to one of my good friends who we met online, and it has been a year ago next week that I've been doing a podcast, and he was somebody that was behind me, pushing me to do this, and helping me out at the beginning of podcasting online. So he's on every day as well. He's a great guy, and we're going to introduce him as we finish our PSA's announcement. What's going on in the city? All right, go ahead, girls.
Okay, so this week I am hosting more of an appreciation event. It's not going to be a meet and greet, simply because when Samuel has been in the community and helping young people for over 30 years. So what we're going to do is kind of just show our appreciation because all the young candidates that are running for office, that are aspiring to be mayors and councilmen, there could be no us if there was not you. So we are super excited to just show a little appreciation or gratitude. It really doesn't matter how you feel about him or what you think. The fact of the matter is you have to give credit where credit is due. And we're going
Mhm.
to give honor where honor is due. And there could be no us without him. So that's kind of what we're doing on this particular Wednesday. But all the other events have been more or less about get out the vote, making sure that you know the candidate, which we're still going to do some candidate question and answer, and you can kind of get a feel for who he is and what he's been doing. I'm looking forward to that. We also have the Southeast Texas Young Democrats is doing a voter registration job. I am the assuming vice president of that, and that's going to be at Fletcher Park this Saturday from 12 to 3. It's in conjunction with the regular Democratic Party and the Tejano Democrats. It's going to be in Fletcher Park from 12 to 3. That's this Saturday. And we are super excited about registering people to vote, making sure that they're knowledgeable about if they're registered. We know that the list got purged, and some people were ineligible or on the inactive list and all of these different things. We can come, we can check your voter registration, we can make sure that you're still registered, and if you're not registered, we can get you registered. The last day to register to vote is April 1st. That is quickly approaching, and I plan on doing several voter registration drives in the community the rest of this week and next week up until April 1st, which is the last day to register to vote.
All right. Okay. I have something I want to add. It's the commercial driver's license B. If you're interested, visit www.lamarpa.edu for class dates. The workforce training is at Lamar State College in Port Arthur. Again, you can call 409-984-6232 or 409-984-6354. The space is limited. Success is closer than you think. And they make good money driving. So you get your license B. You can drive buses, trucks, whatever. Long distance trucks, short distance truck. You can get your license. Get involved. people that's going to be so much going on here in Beaumont and in Southeast Texas. So you need to know this. We're going to talk about my next.
We don't want to forget about the rent relief, Tony. Don't forget
let me go to the rent release. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me go back to the rent release.
Make sure we post about the rent release.
Rent release. Yeah, go. You can tell them about it.
Texas rentrelease.com or call 1-833-989-7368. That's if you and your landlord get together, you want to keep your place, you don't have the money, there are funds available. We want to make sure that people know there are funds available for your rent, your utilities, to help you out if you've been in a bind. If you don't have the money, call this number, go on this website. Also, too, I sent you a thing about vaccines. The Harvest for Lost Souls, I think they are issuing COVID vaccines. I'll send that to Tony in just a few minutes. We want to make sure that we also let you know they are giving away free vaccines at the church coming up in the next week or so. We want to put that out there to let people know you can get vaccines. There's the COVID rent relief. LaShawn Proctor told us there is the burial relief thing. Right. If you have somebody that died due to COVID-19, there's a funeral assistance program with FEMA.gov. So we want to make sure that you are abreast of what's going on in the community and what's actually available to you in terms of monies, vaccines, help, assistance, aid, and making sure that you get involved with local politics. You want to be vocal, you got to vote local.
That's right. Let me chime in here on that COVID-19 funeral assistance. FEMA is going to pay up to $7,000 of your funeral expenses. If anybody in your family that died and you had to pay the funeral expenses or whatever, they're going to pay up to $7,000 of funeral expenses for you. So keep that in mind. Let you see anybody, please tag them, let them know what's going on, and also tag our show, because we have some most important information that we share with everyone here on Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Also, I want to go back to your the Texas Rent Relief Program. It's not just for the rental. Let me tell you something. It's also for the landlord. If the landlord is not receiving his rent, and he can apply as well, that landlord can apply as well, and you can apply as well, and it will pay up to 15 months, folks, of your rent. And landlord, that's very important, because you might have a mortgage and your renters are not paying, and so now you can recoup your money back from the government, Texas here, at the rent release, TexasRentRelease.com. And it is really true. It's facts. So here on Knowledge Power, we give you the facts about things that's going on in our city. Also on Thursday, we're going to have a back-to-back Thursday roundtable talk. And that starts on Thursday at 8:00 this Thursday. And on Sunday, we're going to have our guest going to be Ward 2, Beaumont, Texas, Ward 2 sitting council. My guest, he'll be with us on Sunday at 8. So you
want to tune in to that show. Don't skip over it. Y'all better tune in Sunday, honey.
All right. There we go, my love.
Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform to share important information by educating Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable information on health, education, finances, politics, and business. And baby, we pride ourselves on keeping our hand on the pulse of this community, keeping you up to date and in the loop on what is going on in and around the Golden Triangle. We will not let you down. We will keep you in the loop. Okay. We're super excited.
All right. We're going to talk finance tonight. Finance is what we're going to talk about tonight. And remember, Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is now available on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Apple iTunes, and Google Play. Now, my guest, Robert E.Lewis. And the topic of tonight is going to be the cost of being unbanked. We're going to tell you about that in about 30 seconds. If you don't mind, we'll come back with you. Welcome to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live with your host, Tony Redford, and my co-host, LaDonna Sherwood and Francis Larkins.
Knowledge is Power Podcast Live starts now.
The Cost of Being Unbanked with my good friend Robert E.Lewis. Hello, Robert.
How you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. And my co-host, LaDonna Sherwood and Francis Larkins. We're going to talk about being unbanked, and this is a finance show. We're kind of smoothing it out a little bit from what we've been having candidates in politics for the past shows this month of March. So tonight we're going to go back to basically things that we talk about and helping our community. Yeah. Okay. You're going to be still and shut up or what? Making all that noise, girl. But anyway, so we're going to talk about finances, how to save your money, how to place your money, we're here to help with that. We're here to help. So I've got my good friend Robert. He's going to come with us for some information to share with you tonight on Knowledge is Power Podcast. Robert, take it.
Well, thank you for allowing me to come on the show again, Mr. Tony. And I'll tell you, you mentioned it earlier. It's been a year since I've had the pleasure to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you were holding out, man. You look like CNN over there, baby. You got
cut on, man. Come on now.
Yeah. I like it. I love it. But all joking aside, you sent out the bat signal again. I was honored and always ready to try to answer the call. And bottom line, just to keep it simple, because I think that's one of the things that I've been blessed with, to talk with the people. They hear my heart, they hear the passion, in that I want us to win, right?
Right.
So one of the things that I've been noticing in my daily business and over the years is there's a lot of folks on the periphery, right? Outside of the mainstream.
Right.
And the title or the topic tonight that you said you wanted to speak about is the cost of being unbanked. And simply said, that's just those that are not in the traditional vehicles for obtaining financing and things of that nature. And as a result, I don't really think people realize, those that are on the periphery, the cost, how much it's really costing them when it comes to accessing financing.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So
you mean to tell me these people can't put their money in the mattress? They can't put it in a can, in a shoe under the garage, and dig a hole? And are you saying that that's inappropriate? Or is that what you're suggesting, sir?
Well, you can't never tell grown folks what to do, but that's fine. You can mattress money and things of that nature, but there's been a shift, right, in the economy. And I think it's really started 10, 15 years ago, but it's a consumer-based economy, right? And my debt, your debt is someone else's income. And if you're not in the system, then you're not going to be able to partake. Just as an example, we've been in this situation over a year now. As far as the pandemic, I think it's all right for me to say that. And as far as lending is concerned, and the type of lending that I'm able to do as far as residential mortgage lending, up until a month and a half, well, going on a month ago now, rates were just at levels that we've never seen. And a lot of the people, 8 out of 10 people that I deal with have my melanin, right? And a lot of those folks were not able to take advantage of a wealth creating situation. And that's been the buzz term over the last 18 months, right? Creating generational wealth. And a lot of those folks, like you're saying, with the mattress money or the fear of getting into mainstream, they miss out. So can't tell you what to do, but I'm here trying to sound the trumpet and letting folks know that if you don't get involved, especially in this digital age that we're in, you're going to get left out.
Is that a delay?
Look, my phone, my mic is muted, but I like that terminology. If you don't get in, then you're out. Because I tell people that all the time: either you're in or you're out, and it's really simple. I'm excited about the information that you're going to give us tonight because I came up with family members that, and it's generational, like you say. It's actually cyclical. You kind of do the same things that the people before you did, and unless you have an access to that knowledge, which hence knowledge is power podcast live, then you just don't know, because these are the people that are telling you, you better hide your money, you better do this and you better do that, but they're not telling you the information that you need to grow your money or build your money or leave something behind for future generations and things of that nature. And that actually matters. So I'm with the either you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
This is something that I like to talk about, and also I like you to kind of stretch it out for me a little bit, expand it out a little bit for me, Robert, and for our audience. Is that we still have people today? I'm in the businesses, but we still have people today in 2021. It's still cashing their paychecks at the liquor store. And it's costing them fees, interest on their own money that they can go to a credit union or bank and cash their money for free. So what is the percentage of those? Give me the percentage of that.
There's a ton of numbers out here, but the data that I subscribe to, some of the surveys, they're saying that, first of all, over 30% of Americans, adults, right, they don't trust the banking system. That's a huge problem, right? Being that we're in a consumer-driven economy where it's about financing and things of that nature. So 30% off the bat don't even trust the system. Well, we're not hand to hand. We're not bartering anymore. So you're going to be behind the 8 ball as far as that's concerned. Secondly, 52% roughly, right, don't deal with banks and things of that nature. Go to the local liquor store, check cashing store, because they feel like they don't have enough money, okay, to put into a bank account. Moreover, studies say that people tend to gravitate to those types of entities, and I'm not here to bash those things. It's a capitalistic society, right? But what I'm here to tell folks, what I learned, the little I learned when I was getting my degrees, was caveat emptor, buyer beware. And that's the knowledge is power piece, because there is, especially in our community, there's some type of, I don't know where we got it from, and it could be over the years, that we have this implicit we have this misunderstanding that folks are looking out for us. And when it comes to business, you have to look out for yourself. So said all that to say, a lot of people do use those entities, check cash and payday loans, things of that nature, because they can see the fees that are being charged, opposed to dealing with a bank where things could be, obscure, right? Did that kind of answer your question?
Yes, you sure did.
Yeah.
And actually, I just want to make sure they're aware of it's time to get debit cards and things like that, because this is where the world's going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree, LaDonna? Oh, she can't hear. She's back in the back.
My phone is I'm having a little bit of connection issues, Tony. Can you repeat that?
I was saying
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was answering Robert, and I was telling him that we have people. Not that. Let me change that.
You were saying folks need to start getting debit cards and things of that nature.
Right, because this is where the world is headed.
Mm-hmm.
I have relatives. I'm not going to call names, but I have relatives that don't have bank accounts and don't have debit cards, and they're not computer literate, and they still have a flip phone. And if you don't have that, that's how money is going to be coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the stimulus checks, they came direct deposit. You waiting on one because you don't have a bank account. It's coming to the mail. You won't get it till May or June. So these are things that I need them to be aware of what's going on, and not to bash them anything, but I want to be an assist. I want to be able to help them make some good decisions on their life going forward.
Yeah.
I just, so everybody's not going to be computer literate. So, so
you don't have to be,
no,
you don't have to be Zuckerberg, but we have to be computer literate, right? That's going back to what we're talking about, basic financial literacy. That's something that we're always lamenting about, right? I look at credit reports all day, and let's take student loans. That's a pandemic. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Right?
Lord.
So I don't know how many people I cannot help put the first piece into wealth building, which is single family residential homes, be it 1, 2, 3, or 4 units, right? I think we'll all agree. And so because we're not financially literate and we go to school and amass this debt that only hits you when you're 25, 26 and you got to pay it back, right? So then you want the basic financial education. Well, I'm trying to give and sound the trumpet on the computer literacy. We have to be literate. You don't have to be a savant, but in a lot of cases, you can't even apply for a job anymore with paper, right? You got to do it online.
Right.
Right. So there's a digital divide. There is a lack of understanding when it comes to basic finances, in which you might go to a check cashing place and they say, well, it's only, $15 to cash your check. Well, when you look at the annual percentage rate, that might be in excess of 360%. You follow me? There's a reason they're in the hood, right? Now, the money don't stay in the hood, right? But check cashing, payday, title loan, liquor store, pawn shop, right? But we don't have grocery stores and things of that nature. So, the hood is very profitable, but we got to learn these things so we can keep the money in the hood. You feel me?
Right. The money not staying in the hood. It's spent one time, it's going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, the hood.
I think it stays like 2 minutes, circulating amongst us, and then in other communities for days. Yeah.
It takes off and go somewhere. I don't know. It ain't coming back to the hood. So that's why you see that nowadays the hood looks the way it looks, because no money is going back into it for it to survive or to show an improvement. So wait a minute. This young lady is popping in and out. Now, Francis, you have someone to want to ask John, say, because you watch him on the Robert. I'm sorry, you watch.
You know what? I'm just enjoying this, this interaction with him. I watch him live regularly as I guess you could say as a colleague or so in the industry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I am very much admire and enjoy hearing you speak. So I'm just enjoying these moments. So
well, I appreciate that. And likewise. And we were talking, I just want to point this out, if you don't mind, Mr. Tony.
Right,
she can attest, and you guys hear me in the community. There's not many of us over here on the money side.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
That look like you. Okay.
Yes.
What we're trying to tell you is you're gonna get left out. It hurt my heart. Real talk. I had easy 25 people. This is life-changing stuff, right?
Yes.
When I could take you from 4.5%, which was a very good marketable rate in 18, and drop you down to 2.25. But your credit is bad.
That's it.
You feel me?
Yes.
You got all these student loans, right? And you only making X amount. It's not commensurate with the debt. We have to start. That's why I'm on, Mr. Tony. You talk to the young folk. I love your team. Y'all are putting the word out on the street. And this goes with the unbanked, right? Everything that I'm saying. We got to start teaching these young folks. Everybody, I love education, right? The cost is not in line. And I'm hearing too many people. That's why we have everybody looking for the current administration to do a debt jubilee.
Yes.
Well, if it's such a blessing to go to college, why everybody need a debt jubilee? You feel me?
For real, I owe $87,000, baby. I want them to come through and alleviate some of that. Come on with it.
Now I'm not mad at you. I heard one of my young Thundercats say, I'll take 10. I know you will.
Yeah.
But again, to your point, and I know we're making light for show purposes, but here's the deal. You got 86. Your baby shouldn't have none.
Right.
Knowledge is power. You feel me? So
Right.
they can't go and do what we're great in the community with making lemonade. We got to stop making mistakes and making it taste good. We got to start getting some of these coming behind us to hit it right off the lick, especially when we've messed up. Right.
Right.
Let me quit preaching.
It sounds like even through what you do every day, that you also teach as you are doing, as you originate.
Yeah.
So you're setting them up for success, even though if it's not a right now, it may be a little bit later, you are setting them up for success. And I'm a firm believer in that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, love my people, man. Love my people.
My phone went off, but what I was getting ready to ask you before the phone cut off was, do you recommend any particular institutions over other institutions? And my phone disconnected, but that's what I was going to ask you. Or there are places that are more forgiving that you would say, or more lenient, or less structured, or better as breakout places to start or try to build, or different things. Go ahead and give us a little update. Some institutions maybe give a higher percentage than other institutions. I know that credit unions usually have a higher. Okay, so anyway, I'm not going. You tell me.
No, yeah, and I agree. I agree with you. I don't have any particular lending institution because, again, here's another fallacy. This is great marketing, right? And no disrespect to my colleague, but this is the point I'm going to make in making this point. You need to deal with your local lender. No, you don't. None of us are in the same location. Am I coming in clear?
You are.
So knowledge is power. We need to learn how to deal with those that know what they're doing. Now, you may have a preference of pressing the flesh as we are knee to knee. I don't have a problem with that. So to your point, none of these banking institutions, they're not loyal. They don't love you. All that marketing, they don't love you. Right? If you don't believe me, go to them when you need some money and they tell you no in a heartbeat. Amen.
Amen.
So convenience is key when it's dealing with banking. I do like credit unions because they still have a voting type system. Great place, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, great place to get auto loans, right? Let's take auto lending as an example. Everybody from this point forward, okay, you need a credit union. And when you go to purchase a vehicle, you don't go to the dealership, Mr. Tony. you go to the credit union, right? You get your financing in hand because the auto dealership, again, they don't make their biggest profit is not selling the cars, it's with the financing.
Watch out now.
Yeah, okay. He's shooting us. He's shooting us tonight, Tony.
I'm just saying, knowledge is power, right?
He's shooting us.
We got to give the people what they want. So when they have you in there all day, right? That's a part of the game. And they finally get you to the finance man. He's trying to find who's going to give them the biggest rebate. So gang, Jules, I just dropped them. Go to the credit union, get your financing in place. But in order to get the best financing, we got to bring it all the way back. Here's credit repair in a box. This is how my mama taught me. Your word is bond. If you borrow the money, you got to pay it back. Period. I don't care all the algorithms and all the techniques. That's what it boils down to. You said you put your name on it. You said you was gonna pay it back, and you do everything you can to pay it back. Now, do things happen? Yes, they do, right? And that's why we have bankruptcies and things of that nature. But knowledge is power, guys. I looked at 15 credit reports today. Some of us got to grow up and stop doing what we're doing.
Say it again.
And not only
that credit report burn your computer up.
but and all of this is unbanked, right? Because this is why these folks are unbanked, because they don't want to go through the. And here's the last thing, and I'm a hush because this is y'all.
No, this is your show. You the guest.
I'm a guest, right?
Really?
This is what I'm trying to say. Facebook, Instagram is connected.
Right.
You can't hide nothing no more.
Right.
Some of y'all need to get off because they watch.
Right.
You're telling on yourself.
You're right, because just yesterday I was talking not on my phone, but had my phone on me, and I was talking about getting a home generator,
Generac pop up, huh?
and all of a sudden, Generac.
Yes, sir.
Home generators and all the champions and all. I said, what the hell going on?
They listening.
They listening. Yes, they sure is listening.
And I got buddies that are enrolled agents, right? Here's another thing, right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. What I loved over this pandemic, the thirst for knowledge in the community. Okay.
True.
But, if your credit can't get it, you don't need to be investing. That's the horses before the cart.
Right.
You got to get the credit right first. That's the foundation of the house.
Right.
And I say that because a lot of folks are going to be salty with Bitcoin and things of that nature because you don't understand the nuance. It's just something to do. So Robinhood and these places it sounds lovely, right? But when you have a home, that's the number one piece in wealth generation for first-time millionaires.
Right.
Absolutely.
It is. So, we got to back up. And before we do all of that, unbanked is the topic. It's costing you money. And the reason a lot of us are unbanked is because, the credit can't get it. So we got to get ourselves together, admit it, forget it. Nobody's passing judgment, right? But if you don't, you're going to be on the outside looking in. And this is why I'm going to say you're going to be on the outside looking in. I do a lot of business nationwide, and I've been blessed to be a part of your community, right? I know the young pilot. I know the Brandon Johnsons, right? The Stacey Lewises. I'm deep over there. Right. I move in silence, though. I don't like to be up front. I'm Tito. So I'm not just taking out y'all community. I give back too. I'm going to just put that out there, right? But all that said, what are the prices looking like over in your neighborhood for houses? Are they going up or down?
They're going up.
And a lot of people ain't, and they're not coming back down.
No,
and not. You know what? No disrespect to mi gente, right? But they over there, they buying the golden triangle up. You feel?
Yeah. They get a piece of the pie.
I'm not mad at them. You feel what I'm saying?
No, and you know what? For them, they're gonna come with their cash, and they're gonna take their cash, and they're gonna parlay it into something that's astronomical as far as credit, and then they're gonna go buy something, or they're gonna get together in a group and figure it out.
Absolutely.
In community economics, it's about it's not about the same thing, and I feel like this show is really important because having a banking relationship is important. Having a credit union relationship is important. Making sure to pay your bills on time is important. And making sure that you're right, that you get the basic things that you need, a house and a car, before you start wanting to go buy Bitcoin or now you a foreign exchange. You want to trade Forex and this and that and all of these other different things, and all of that's great. And I'm not saying that you can't invest, but you're right. We need some basic instructions before we start reading this stuff on the internet and we think we can do it all.
Yeah.
People that have student loans, you're right. We have to get real with our kids and our families. For my generation, I'm the first girl to graduate college. So I think it was a big graduate college thing. The fact of the matter is I own 2 companies and I trade foreign currency. I have those degrees I owe $87,000 for, and I didn't need them to do a single thing that I'm doing today.
Absolutely. Same.
I make good money without technically having to need it. You know what I mean? And we got to get real with ourselves on some of that. So you're right. That $87,000 ticket that I'm paying, it's not being utilized in any capacity. And my mother's been in business for over 30 years. Technically, we need to start pushing some of these businesses that have worked instead of reinventing the wheel. And everybody's got college material, so you're racking up these bills and you might not even finish. You know what I mean? So we may need to be pushing trades. I mean, it's a lot of different things to this unbanked thing because you picking up debt and issues that you can't get out of before you ever even get a way to figure yourself to the next landing pad. You know what I mean? We've got to do better with the pushing of college. And I know for a lot of Black people, you know, slavery and Jim Crow and all of these things, and it was education, 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 education. And we wanted to consider ourselves to have college graduates in the family, and that's cool. And it took us a long time to get to that point, but now we're realizing that college degree come with a price tag, and if we didn't go into engineering or medicine, then shit, you out.
A specified field. And to her point, I will say, I look at credit reports, and most of the time, a lot of my clients, they're not even employed in the field that they, that they went, the degree path that they went for, and then they go back, and then they go back again, and then it's just, it's just a never ending snowball. So absolutely, I have to second her on that.
And when you go to buy your house, guess what the hell they looking at you saying? Oh, your income to debt ratio is jacked up because you owe $80,000 in student loans.
Absolutely.
What are we going to do with them before we lend you some money to buy a house or whatever the case may be? So we gotta have some real conversations.
Absolutely.
Going forward and pushing more trade jobs that when you get the certificate, you go to work. And now I get credit. And now when I get my certificate, when I finish turning the last wrench or whatever, or welding the last pipe, then I'm going on to a job.
Right.
Okay? And even for ladies, real estate schools and insurance. My mother's been an insurance agent for 30 years. Everybody needs insurance. It's money when it's while we sending people to college. Some of these people can be realtors. They can be insurance agents. They can do other different things that we're not promoting, and we sending them to these schools, and they can't get a job when they're done. That's the problem.
The biggest problem that I see, and this goes to the topic, we used to be very productive people, right?
Right.
And there's somebody over in your neighborhood. I can't, but the country boy is gonna survive, right? And Black folks used to produce, and we got to get back to production.
I love him.
Everybody, and there's nothing wrong, young folks. Feel me. I used to manage banks. I was a pharmaceutical rep, right? I did a lot of things before I was blessed to manage and run my own business. Okay. And in each one of those places, my father, God rest his soul, you got to learn. He told me you got to learn how to kiss some behinds. And so sometimes some of y'all don't want to hear that. And I feel you, right? I'm not trying to put you in a job, but here's the deal. Had a young man hit me up out of Cali. Says I'm an artist. Okay. Nobody's buying my art. Pause. You're not an artist yet. Well, you're an artist that your work is not sustaining you yet. Then he goes on to send me a picture of an empty refrigerator. So y'all just know me a little bit. I say, hey, bro, you need to go to work. You got some children too, right? But the Bible says a man don't work, he shouldn't eat.
He don't eat.
Because I work, I get up at 4:45 every day. You feel me? So I'm with the charity, man. But you know what? Now you on Instagram all day, it ain't working. You feel me?
Right.
So nothing wrong with a job, right? And the community I just mentioned, what do? They do what we used to do. They build houses, they cut grass, they do the stuff you don't want to do. I pull their credit. They got 800 credit scores and $50,000 in the bank.
Right.
And guess what? And they grow gardens at the end of the day too. So most of them not gonna do. They'll grow something in a minute, and they're gonna do sewing and they do housework, the things that we used to do that would provide a.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you have to. I think you're right. Some of it's in the mentality that we feel like we didn't grew up to a place to where we don't do this anymore or do that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no such a thing, especially like you say, when you have some children. Let me tell you, that means all systems are go.
and another thing is that we do not manage our monies.
Yes, sir.
We're bad. Our prioritize are bad. We're just we don't have good money management, and also we teach that here on this show as well.
Good
about money management, but we haven't had that show in a few months now, girls. We're gonna have to get back to some of the things that brought us, that got us here. But we're talking about it now. So we want to help anyone that need help to be able to get their finances in order.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
Because I preach to know. Let's give some solutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to know your numbers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk with the budgeting.
Right.
Most of us have online banking accounts in some shape, form, or fashion.
Right.
If you're getting the paper, go back 3 months. Okay. Sit down. If it's you and your spouse, this is not a name game, a blame. This is just a fact-finding mission.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you go through that bank statement, it's going to tell you where your money going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The number one culprit that has worked its way in, where a lot of us are wasting money, are on subscription fees.
Mm-hmm.
They done $10 a lot of us to death.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
$6.99.
Right.
So go in and see what. First of all, we have to understand what a necessity is.
Right.
And here's the hard, true facts. I probably ain't gonna come back on here again, so this is gonna be your worst one. They gonna cancel me. But
no.
Here's the deal. You got to know what a necessity is, right, and what a want is.
Right.
And if you got less than, most Americans can't cover a $400 emergency.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. You're right.
Start there. So if you got less than $400, all those subscriptions with all that entertainment, you might want to think about it.
Now, wait a minute, Robert. Me and my husband did that a couple months ago. We ended up in divorce.
Oh, Lord. It wasn't the subscriptions. It was something else.
Oh, he was freaky deaky.
It was something else.
We ended up in a divorce. Now, don't be messing us up out here.
He must have watched some freaky deaky.
That wasn't the number one thing. There was commotion happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm just joking.
Okay.
I said, believe me, it was more to that. It was not.
Yeah, that was just a straw that broke the camel back. Yeah.
That was the one. That was that one.
I made over 6 figures one year, and I couldn't account for the money. Like I just didn't know. So my mother was like, "You're gonna have to get a forensic accountant, and you're gonna have to like figure out what are you doing and what's going on." You know what came up though? I was having the most expensive damn dinners. I'm a foodie. I was spending the money on exquisite, lavish meals and dinners and wine and things. And you know what else I do? I play that game on my phone. And when I die, I want some more lives. And when I die, I want some more lives. And it's really addictive. The lady said, who is she said, who's Candy Crush? We got a lady, we hired a lady to like look at my account. So I mean, it's funny now looking back on it, but baby, I had $2.99, the hell out of that. $2.99.
Yeah.
You think it's nothing. You think it's nothing, but you add it up.
It's nothing. $2.99 is nothing. She said, "Do you realize you pressed that $2.99 like 20 times in a week?"
Right.
You know how many $2.99 it was? I was like, oh my God, I couldn't. And then at one time I had a game. It was a gambling game, and I wanted to do that, and I was pressing
yeah, you gonna run through that money quick. Yeah.
Let me tell you who's getting mine: Google Play and a bunch of steaks.
She testimony serves. Yeah.
Yeah, she felt compelled, convicted.
Yes, ma'am. The spirit moved her. But you know what? Go on and tell the truth. Shame the devil. But fact-finding mission, because a lot of us don't know. And it's not coinky-dink that it's paperless. Right. There's no, get $100 and go spend it. You know when you're getting close.
Right. That's right.
When you swiping and touching, it's a disconnect.
Right.
So one other thing, and I'll hush Mr. Tony, but after you do the bank statements, you see where it's going. Then this is what I teach my kids, right? One day a week in that calendar week, whichever day of your choice, you sit down an hour and you find out where your money's going. You got to make it a priority. You got to look at it often so you can catch yourself, and then you'll be surprised. Everybody could find $150, especially nowadays, in the budget. I guarantee.
Right. Well, I know one thing. Once I became financially aware of situations, my bank account grew $10,000 additional.
Come on now.
So just with me just being cognizant of frivolous spending, so I got on that quick, and I am very, very meticulous about my finances, but I'm blessed to be, in a situation that causes me to have that financial awareness.
Right.
So yeah, it's
I
a
have,
blessing.
yeah, I do what you're doing, Robert. Once every week, I look at and see what am I spending my money on, and I love to eat. My fat ass love to eat. I got to eat something at all times,
Yeah, I can't
So
talk.
I
feel
love
you.
to eat, man. And that's what most of my money going out to eat dinner,
Yes, sir.
lunch, splurging. I see somebody I know. Oh, you want one too? Come on, So
I'm off
so
on Tuesday, Tony.
yeah. Oh, hey.
And you know what, too, guys? Some of us that are blessed and you're making those monies, here's the PSA for you.
Mhm.
At some point in time, you're not going to make as much money as you're making now.
Right.
Right.
And this is a word that a lot of folks in the community aren't aware of, and I want them to be aware. It's inflation. Okay.
Mhm.
Your dollar is not, go back 20 years ago and it would buy more. Go back 50 years ago. Right?
Absolutely.
And it would buy more. So we're almost in a negative territory. So again, production is key. Those of us that are making money, it's not going to last forever.
Right.
Right.
So you have to be a good steward, as my
Yes.
nephew would say, steward
Yes.
the opportunity.
Yes.
So you're being blessed with this money now, put it to work. Okay.
Mhm.
Because you have to outpace inflation.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's good to, and again, it is good to watch how you spend your money right now, because tomorrow it can be another day, and it can be
Absolutely.
another pandemic. It can be anything that can cause you to have a reset. So
Yes, sir.
And I also talk about the poverty line. The poverty line is so, at the gap between white and black is so, black and brown is so far distant, and it's steady growing.
Yes, sir.
And they're confused about the $15 an hour minimum wage,
Mhm.
which is needed, because even at $15 an hour, you still living below the poverty line. You go to the grocery store and you can't even buy a $50 worth of groceries. It's like going to a snack bar.
That's it.
So
Hey, that's gonna be a problem.
yes.
If they increase that to $15, watch this. This pandemic, a lot of these businesses realized that a lot of folks that were coming to work weren't working,
Right.
Mhm.
and those jobs aren't coming back.
No, they're not.
Mhm.
So if I pay you 15, I got to make 45 because I'm gonna make a profit.
Right.
And so a lot of these jobs, this is why I'm telling you guys, you think Rob is crazy. You got to re-educate yourself, keep the job that you have, be a great steward, produce,
Mhm.
okay? Because you're in it together, okay? This mentality that don't nobody owe you nothing. None of us here, even you, Mr. Tony, I didn't get whooped. Our ancestors did. You standing on their shoulder, and some of us have a sense of entitlement that you shouldn't have.
Exactly.
And these folks are for profit. Okay. Now I'm gonna be fine because I'm not lazy. Okay.
Mhm.
But some of us have to understand. So if it goes to 15, y'all read, check me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, right? These jobs are going out of business.
Not only that, at my job, I employ 10 employees. Right now, I pay them something like $9 an hour. If they go up to 15,
Come on
I'm
now.
Gonna
gonna
have to cut them down.
need $15 worth of. I'm gonna need 15 worth of ass abacha, whatever. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, that way. See, they don't want to hear that.
All I'm saying is that's fine because I work with the state, so I'm sure the state will constantly improve our rates. But they gonna want more from me, and I'm gonna want more from
More
you.
from
So
them.
nail
Absolutely.
the head with that one. The
Well,
10 employees that I got, I hope
Yeah.
they watching. Let me
Yeah.
first tell you.
Yes, indeed.
Let me be the first to tell you.
Because the
We're
money,
gonna need
that's something else in our community. And I love your community because of all the young activists and the politicians, right?
Mhm.
But the money don't come out of you. The government is you, us. We the government, right? And so when these taxes and stuff, it's got to come from somewhere,
Coming from somewhere. It's got to
right?
come from
And
somewhere.
it ain't coming out the sky. You see? So productivity. If you don't have nothing else that I'm saying, and I'm really guarding my tongue, right? Hear what I'm saying. We got to get busy. We got to get productive. We all we got,
That's it.
Mhm.
but we all we need.
That's
And
it.
we got to quit lying to one another. Young folks, it's time to go to work. Not
That's
just
right.
go to work. We got to be, y'all are smart. Y'all got next.
That's right.
Look at these problems. Let's go. We got to produce.
That's right. Robert E. Lewis, the banker. Thank you, Robert, for joining
Don't
us
let the
tonight.
hoodie fool you, right?
All
Don't
right,
let the
that's
hoodie
it,
fool
baby.
you.
That's it. That's it. And I appreciate you accepting my invitation again. Robert Lewis and I started about a year ago doing the podcast. I was doing it once a month. Actually, I was just doing Facebook Live, and it grew from there. And now, we have an average of 2,000 people or more watches us in 48 hours now. So it is great to have you, Robert, as our guest.
That's just because of me.
What is that? What did you say?
That's just because of you, darling.
Yeah, just
Let's
because of
be
you.
clear.
You're right. You're right. It's because of you, and also my co-host Francis.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say hello to everyone that's watching. Jennifer Rashad and Lake Charles, Robin McComb Troy. Hey, Robin, how are you? Great talk. Thank you.
Hey, Robin.
She said great talk show. Thank you, and I thank
Hey,
you.
Robin.
Hey, Robin. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Leslie. Okay. Oh, Jennifer's telling us it's very informative. Thank you. Thank you, too. But Robert, we thank you again. And again, Robert, we go back over a year ago.
Yes, sir.
And that's, I think, more longer than that, Robert, because I was in an automobile, owner of automobiles, the dealership. And
it goes back further than that, but you
right,
just
right.
blessed me and allowed me to meet you for real a year ago. Yeah.
So, we talk about a lot of different things and
Yes,
employees and all that, but it is so good to have you and bring you back on. And I know my co-host, they enjoy it as well, because we love to talk about very important information that being informative to our people in our surrounding area, and it helps them, because I see people.
I let the message be first to the messenger, so that's on me.
Yeah. So we're gonna, once a month we have a show that educates our personal finances. We talk about healthcare, and we have doctors on the show to talk about different procedures and different awareness of our health, and we just enjoy passing on the good news. And of course, we into politics too. We do all kinds of things. And boy, you want to hear something? You need to hear us on next Thursday. This Thursday, we have a what we call a Thursday roundtable talk. We actually is on every first Thursday each month, but we're going to have back-to-back Thursdays. We got a lot to talk about, local politics, local candidates, local banking. We talk about everything. We might even talk about your mom. But anyway.
Yes, indeed.
But and good daddy. But anyway, we enjoy what we do. And if you're watching, tag a friend, share it. And Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're all over the place. So thank you again, Robert. If you have any last words you want to share before we close out.
Four things. Annualcreditreport.com. Pull your credit, know what's on your profile. Number 2, review those bank statements often. Find out where the money's going. Number 3, get with my colleague, Miss Francis. She's in your city, right? There's enough for all of us. I ain't tripping. You got a good one. There's not enough of us around. And number 4, keep watching Knowledge is Power, baby.
That's it. You got it, baby. That's a good plug. That's a good plug, man. I appreciate it. Catch us on Thursday, everybody, with the Thursday Roundtable Talk. And on Sunday, it's the candidate from Ward 2 in Beaumont, Mike Getz. So we're here to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.
I don't know.